Hey guys, I'm Colwen. I've got another Transformers video, and today I've got Transformers Combiner Wars Rook and Transformers Combiner Wars Hound. Now, quick thing to get out of the way, Transformers Combiner War Rook was actually the first use of this mold, and then they remolded it into other characters. This is the Hound remold. Let me go ahead, and on this one I've done a lot of customizations to and stuff, mainly the paint job. I swapped out the head with a bumblebee head, and yeah, mainly a paint job. But one thing that I kind of like is this is why I did the customization is Rook's arm here, even though he has a fist, has a 5mm port right in the front. And while we're at it talking about these figures, I'm going to go ahead and bring in, this is a pack of custom Transformers Combiner Wars Rook Rescue tool set in white neon. I got these for about let's say $17 shipped, and I will put a link down below because it was either spend money on this to get 4 of them or Combiner Wars Rook weapon. It would have been between $18 and $20 for his proper weapon, which is this cool looking little claw thing going on that has the peg on the side and on the bottom. I did not want to spend $25 on this though. Maybe I will some other time, but hey, for now, we've got these. These were 3D printed off. I am opening them fresh on camera. And while we're at it, it seems like they sent me some stickers. I got a Squirtle sticker, a Herculean sticker, and I want to say Totodile. See, I know my Peckermons. It's the Chin Pokemon. You got to get Shu. Shu is the best Chin Pokemon. So, you've got this nice little fish hook harpoon thing, and it's obviously 3D printed, but that is some decently strength stuff going on here. We've got a drill bit. Hammer! No, this is good quality stuff here. And we got this other spiked harpoon thing, and I can take out... And see, the reason why they did that is so that he can interact with the Combiner War weapon hands. And I took my weapon hands, and I took the weapon part and moved it back and added an extra finger to the thing and all that, and I like the way that looks. And I did it on this Gatling gun weapon also, and I have an effect part somewhere that plugs in there. I just don't know where it is offhand. Offhand. Let's go ahead and see how these peg into place. That is fairly sturdy, actually. Okay, and how's this one? That is good stuff. I like the way that looks. And if I'm so inclined, I can peg that up in there in his shoulder. And we can stick the drill bit in. The drill bit could stand to have a longer peg. It seems to want to shake out a little too easily. But, 3 being completely functional. How's this one? Oh, that one fits very well also. And you know who these would also work well with? These would probably work pretty well with my Impactor figure. Yeah, no, I'm glad I got these. These give him a lot of good options for combat. And I've got this weapon here that I made from a tarantulas thing. And it's got a silly straw peg on the back so I can do that. Options are optional, especially when I call this guy's Jungle Bug. And he's got this big old huge 3D printed sword with a peg on the side also. Yeah. So now that I've talked about Rook, I can now get all his stuff off to the side. But yeah, the difference between these two guys is the backpack canopy is different, and I'll bring Rook back in vehicle mode. But he's got these cool punchy hand things going on. So let's go ahead and talk about the simpler version. Let's talk about Hound. Hound also came with a foot weapon gun. I don't think he came with one with missiles. He came with one with barrels, I want to say. But he came with one that had a peg hole in the bottom. Not all hand-foot gun things had peg holes in the bottom, although they should have. It wouldn't have been that hard to do. Also has this cool-looking Gatling gun thing. Now we've got those talked about. Let me bring Rook back in real quick, and we'll bring in my size comparisons. We've got Film Noir Spider-Man. We've got Scourge. We've got Soda Can. We've got Hubcap. We got the car robots. And let me go ahead and bring in the other Hounds. Okay, so we have the early 2000s Hound. We have the Combiner Wars Hound. We have the first version movie of Hound. I can't remember what movie exactly it is. Then there's the second movie version. Here is Legacy Bulkhead, for reasons we'll get into later. Here is Siege Hound, and now dubbed Shattered Glass Earth Mode Hound. And you can see, it's interesting how they've gone through a wide range from the early 2000s to the current ones, and, you know, the similarities and dissimilarities sometimes even. So, before we get into transformation, let's talk about his articulation, which is the same as Rook's. He's got a head on a ball joint, but it's restricted because of the shape of his head itself. Nice clean backpack going on here. Rook had a pretty clean backpack too. Kind of butterfly joints, but that's really much more for transformation. And yeah, you gotta be careful. This panel here is friction pegged on and it will come off. Ball jointed shoulders, upper arm swivel, very decent elbow bend. Active waist joint, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, very nice knee bend. And he's got ankle tilt with kind of toe articulation going on. Again, really more for transformation. And if you're so inclined, he can bust out his massive chesty cannon of doom. Transformation, yeah, he's got a pretty straightforward transformation. You can come back down here to the legs, and again, fold the feetsies downward like this, and then you straighten the legs out, and using these interior hinges, you see there's this hinge right in here. Use that to fold them up and alongside, and now we've got his legs all closed up. Take this piece up here and hinge that over. Again, be careful of that part, and it's gonna clip into place over the front here. The arms get hinged up on these butterfly joints, and then we need to have the removable parts. Lovely. Okay, so this part hinges up and over like this. And make sure these peg holes are facing upwards, and then you line the arms up and you peg them down. Now I can come back in and peg that in place. And you're going to want to turn the head to where he's facing backwards, so that when you fold the head up and away, the back of his head fits into place and it just kind of molds away. I'll peg his weapon on here, and this is why he was given the weapon with the peg in the bottom. And let me bring in Rook here, and you can see how they look side by side. I know I got Rook all covered up in weapons and stuff. Let's go and get his sword off there and out of the way. And let's bring in the other Hounds. Alright, let's bring in all the other Hounds. We have Classics Hound. We've got the movie Hounds. We've got Legacy RID Bulkhead. And we've got the more recent Hounds. And again, it's cool to see how they changed over the years and how they, you know, bigger and smaller and all that. So we got both of them in their vehicle mode, and you can see once I strip off all their extra gear, you can see a lot of the similarities in the design. They really just stripped off the top part of Rook here and, you know, gave him a roll cage and a different style front end to make it into Combiner Wars Hound, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it is nice to see that this drill bit thing fits in very nicely in Rook, and we can, if you want to, we can see how the other ones look and fit fairly well. And you really gotta knock some doors down, right? Vehicle mode comparisons. Let's go ahead and bring in Scourge and Hubcap. Bring in over Filmnar Spider-Man. We got to, uh-oh, where's he at? There we go. Soda Can, and since these guys can stand up on their back ends, and we bring in the car robots. And if I haven't brought in the other Hounds, and let's bring in the other Hounds. And if not, then we just jump cut right back to here, and I have them in front of the camera. Rook, mint, no cosmetics, no alterations. Like, mine's completely FUBAR. Mine's been completely customized and repainted. Rook goes for like 40, 50 bucks out of the box. $60 and up in the box. He's an interesting figure. He's got the cool arms. But really, if you're looking for another Combiner Wars limb guy, you can't go wrong with Hound. He's got a decent looking vehicle mode. He's got some cool detailings and stuff all over him. They did change up the detailings. He's got like worker equipment and gas cans, and he's got like little storage bags and other car parts built in, you know, fuel tanks and stuff. And like, there's no robot undercarriage. Like, that's a very clean undercarriage for a vehicle mode. He's cheaper. I think you can get him right now still for like 20 bucks out of the box, 30 bucks mint in the box. Both are great figures all around. If you're into the whole Combiner Wars thing, then you're going to want to get either one of them. If you're looking for a Hound, there's better options for Hound. Go with Classics Hound, go with Siege Hound, or even go ahead and get yourself a Detritus and call him Shattered Glass Hound. Heck, get a movie Hound. There are much better Hounds than this one. He's just an extra Combiner limit as far as I'm concerned. So, I'm Colwen. This has been Combiner Wars Rook / Jungle Bug, custom painted figure, and Combiner Wars Hound. Both great figures. One is more expensive than the other. Take your pick. Or use other Combiner War figures, you know. Thanks for watching.